Good morning, and thank you for being here. I'm Pat Davis, City Councilor that represents District 6, which is mostly the southeast side of Central. We're here this morning with our other Central Avenue City Councilors, APD, the Mayor's Office, and just a small piece of the more than 200 Central Avenue businesses who started earlier this year coming together to look at a strategy to help make Central open, accessible, and safe now that construction is done. We're here to announce a couple of really big things. We want folks to know that now the construction is done, ART is coming and Central is open for business. There are more than 500 parking spaces. There are 6-foot wide sidewalks along 96% of Central Avenue, making walking and shopping a whole lot easier. But when we started looking at what the impact is and what our future for Central is, we recognized that Central Avenue is Albuquerque's Main Street. Main Street businesses all over the country are having a hard time keeping up with the competition from online sales. And so when we had an opportunity from the legislature to ask them to share the online sales tax that the state is collecting, we as city councilors sat down with the budget staff and the mayor's office to look at how we could take money that was being pulled out of our small businesses and reinvest it back into places like Central. Our business owners got together and asked the city to come up with a plan to prioritize safety and a way to invite customers back to Central. And so today is our announcement of how we intend to do just that. Today we are announcing that the City Council intends to amend the city budget to add $1 million in new dollars for new police positions dedicated to Central Avenue business beats, to support our small businesses, to fulfill their request as a partner to step up based on their recommendations to us. In addition, we are also going to seek funding for up to $500,000 in competitive marketing grants. Those grants would be available to merchant associations like West Downtown or Nob Hill or West Central to work with a professional marketing company to advertise Central as a destination for shoppers, to welcome folks back again. And whether that's come out for a brunch and shopping in Nob Hill on Sunday or ride your bike to El Vado and go shopping, whatever our Central destinations are, we want to empower our merchant associations to come up with the theme that encourages customers to rediscover Route 66. And so to do that, we're rolling out 3 pieces. $1 million for new police positions dedicated to Central Avenue, to support Central Avenue business beats across 4 area commands from Unser all the way up to Uptown. $500,000 in marketing grants to promote Central as open for business again and to encourage people to rediscover Route 66. And a new website at rediscovercentral.com that gives people all of the businesses up and down Central Corridor, along with resources that our businesses can use to promote Central as a destination to get people back again. I can't say enough how much we appreciate the Mayor's Office support for this. Mr. Armijo's here from the Mayor's Office. APD has been looking for community police strategies to invest in now that we have fulfilled our sort of 980,000 officer goal that was originally set. And this will be the first new positions hired above and beyond that goal to start prioritizing community policing. So we couldn't think of a better way to do it than by working together with our business associations to help support Central first. So to do that, I want to welcome up Jay Rimby and some of the business owners from West Downtown and Nob Hill who started this initiative with the business associations to sort of look at the issue, come up with a plan, and ask us to fund it, which is a totally new way of doing business in the city for you guys to come to us and say, we have a plan, let's figure out how to do it. So thank you very much, Jay.
Thank you, Councilor Davis.
Thanks,
really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Everyone, thank you for having us. I really want to thank Councilor Davis, Councilor Benton, and all the other councilors that are supporting this effort. We are really excited that we're going to see some change on Central. Thank you to the Mayor's Office and all the Albuquerque police. The response time's been a lot better. What's amazing to me is we identified a problem, we came up with a plan, and we worked as a cohesive group along Central. Chris Smith, Gene Bernstein, and Len Romano were really instrumental in getting the support from every district, from West Central, West Downtown, to Downtown, Edo, UNM, Nob Hill, East Nob Hill, all the way to the International District. And within 2 weeks, we had over 200 signatures. People were emailing us asking how we could help. We all realize Route 66, the mother road of Albuquerque, is not only an Albuquerque treasure, but it is a national treasure, and we need to protect it just like you would your own mother. So I'm extremely excited. The ability to have police, bike police patrolling Albuquerque, community policing with each individual business on Central is going to be so important. It will help the pedestrianism. People will feel safer. Businesses will do better. Clearly, if businesses are doing better, gross receipts are up. It'll be a great investment for the city. And, working with Councilor Davis and Councilor Benton was really impressive. And they've been responsive. We hope over time we'll get some more funding as well, but I'm really excited what we have now. So thank you, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. Len?
Thanks. I've got nothing to add. He said it all, but a safer environment on Central Avenue means a more walkable Central Avenue, and a more walkable Central Avenue means businesses do better, and that's a win for the city. And a police officer on a mountain bike is totally different to a police officer in a car. A police officer on a bike is community policing at its most basic, because anybody can interact with that police officer anytime. And a police officer on a bike can get into all the nooks and crannies, and we know that Central's full of nooks and crannies, and that's where the stuff happens usually. So again, thank you to everybody that supported this. Thank you to everybody who turned out today. And we're just committed to making our city better as one Albuquerque. Thanks.
Thank you. As these guys said, this was all something that came from our business associations as coming up with a strategy, and thanks to APD for stepping up to say, working with the council to come up with a strategy in community policing we could invest in together. But one of the things we discovered in doing this work, and you'll see in the map and in your handouts, that since ART construction ended in May of 2018, we've added 240 new business licenses in the Central Corridor, and that's Central Avenue and just one block on either side. That's a huge investment by small business owners and local people in their belief that Central is the place that small business should locate in Albuquerque. And we want to do our part. And so we're asking the press today to also tell people that story. Central is back. We're adding new businesses. If you haven't found your new hamburger spot or your favorite new coffee spot or your favorite new salon, come back, because the parking spots are ready. The police officers are going to be here to help you, and our business associations are here to help you as well. Next up, I want to introduce my cohort, Councilor Benton, who represents this neighborhood as well. Councilor.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks everybody for being here, and more than anyone, thanks to the business community. We have a great West Downtown Business Association. I meet with them as often as I can, and whenever I'm called to talk about these issues. I think it's particularly relevant, the funding source of some people call it the Amazon tax, but the internet sales tax source for this revenue is so appropriate for what we're doing here, because it really is about a critical economic corridor for the city, and one who we all know, honestly, has taken a hit in terms of retail from this dynamic of internet sales. So I really like the fact that that's helping to pay for police and the marketing that we need to help bring people back down to the corridor. I live right on the corridor. It's a wonderful place to live. I've been a longtime advocate for bicycle cops, and every person I think that I've ever spoken to about bicycle police gets it, that is the most effective way to implement community policing. By far, most ground covered per officer, somewhat more complicated than I realized until I started to speaking to APD about it. They're used to implementing the bike patrols with 2 police officers and a car. Definitely some different considerations that they have to take in order to implement it. But I think with this plan, we're going to have faces that we know. The business people and the community folks in the area are going to see an officer that they get to know, and that's the epitome of community policing. So, yeah, again, appreciate my council cohorts who are co-sponsoring this, but also, more importantly, the business community and the neighborhoods who pushed us to get this done. And I agree with Jay that perhaps it's a foot in the door with this type of program, and that it will grow. But I think it's a robust start, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. So, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Councilor.
Thank you. What a great day for Albuquerque, and what a great day for West Side businesses and businesses throughout the Central Corridor. This has been needed for so long. Today, with the Albuquerque Police Department, we have 955 sworn officers working for the department. There are 600 working on the streets of our community. Well, I am glad to see that we are going to have bike patrols from West Central all the way to East Central. It is an important issue to bring people back and shop on Albuquerque's Central Corridor and the mother road of our community. I myself have an accounting firm on West Central. My dad started the business back in 1963, and we never left, just like Larry and Dan and many people that have had their businesses along this corridor for many years. But we are seeing a lot of new businesses locate along the Central Corridor. I know there was a lot of questions during the art project that businesses were starting to drop. We lost some businesses, but many of these people that are here today have not given up, and they're still here today. And we want to make sure that people come back and shop, play, and work on West Central. It's a great place, and it will be a safe place, and I think that is the most important thing. And we've always said, get your kicks on Route 66. So please come down to Central Shop. You will be safe, and we will have bike patrols basically working with our business community and the pedestrians that are soliciting the corridor. Again, thank you to the council members for working on this. We've got to get one more vote, and we should be able to get that, but this is a great thing for Albuquerque. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Our council president, Clarissa Pena.
Thank you, Councilor Davis. I don't think anyone can even hear this mic, right? I just really want to congratulate the business owners. You know, it really takes a community to make something like this happen. We have on West Central, we've seen a lot of progress with some initiatives that we've done. We have more bike patrols there. I think we have 2 of them. We have this great model that we call it, we started to call it the APD problem response team, but it's actually a community-based policing model that we're using at 111 Coors, where some of these results, and Larry, who's been a longtime business owner on West Central, know about. And it's really about getting the police officers out there in the community. We've had a reduction in crime. Business owners and shoppers feel more comfortable out there while they're shopping. And, again, as mentioned before, the historic Route 66 is something that we need to concentrate on as a city. From one stretch to the other, we have the longest urban stretch of the historic route, and we really need to capitalize on that. So, again, I wanted to thank the business owners, and I really want to thank APD in particular for the work that they're doing on Coors and Central. And I think this is just a reflection of the good work and the good collaboration with business owners, residents, and local government. So thank you.
Thank you. I know we're all standing in the sun. We want to invite up Mr. Alan Armijo on behalf of the mayor and Deputy Chief Elizabeth Armijo from APD to come up and speak very quickly. Thanks, Alan.
Thank you. Buenos dias, bienvenidos. Mayor Keller sent me an email this morning and said, I want you to go attend that on my behalf. He sends his apologies. He's out of town today and tomorrow. But first of all, he said he wanted me to make sure I thank the city councilors for stepping up and doing and taking this bull by the horn. It's about money, and they're the appropriating body, and he said, fantastic. And then he wanted me to thank the business community because they're the ones pushing it, and they're the ones that need the help that we can give them. The mayor and I have talked a lot about government cannot do everything by itself. It has to be a public-private partnership, and that's what's happening today with the city council, the mayor, and the businesses all working together, telling us where they need the help, where they see that the help is needed. And that's what Mayor Keller's message is to you today. The mayor since he was running for office and after he took office, and in less than 2 years, his number one priority, his number two priority, and his number three priority have always been public safety. And what he did when he was running and when he came into office, he started meeting with city councilors. He started meeting with police officers, former police officers, other people who had been in office, and people like me. How do we make public safety a number one priority? How do we increase having more officers? What do we need to change? How do we get to community policing? That's a big thing for him. Bike patrols is part of community policing. And through this whole process, what we were advising him, number one, you need money. Here's the money people, and they thank them like crazy, because they're the ones that appropriate the money and figure it out. Number two, you need to find people who can be officers. You can put all kinds of money, but if you don't have the people to become officers, you're not going to do it. Through all of us working together, we're going to have 100 new police officers by this summer on the streets that will also equate to bike patrol. So on the behalf of the mayor, again, thank you to everyone, because it takes a cooperative effort by all of us to make this happen. Muchísimas gracias.
Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Armijo, and I'm the Deputy Chief of Staff over APD's Community Outreach Division. So a lot of this has already been reiterated, but if I can just say that we are pleased that we are adding 100 new officers to our department. These officers have been trained, they're on the streets, and that's huge. So with that, with the new officers, and we have to thank again our city councilors, our mayor for their support for our police department, but because of that, we've been able to we have more manpower and we can focus on our community policing efforts. And we recognize that there have been concerns along the central corridor. We have heard you, and APD is committed to our community policing focus and priority. We already have bike officers. We have positions throughout the city. And because of this focus and our communication, listening to what the needs are, we are enhancing what we have, and we are putting additional officers, bike officers, which will be patrolling the central corridor. We understand that as part of community policing, our officers need to be engaged. We want them to be visible. We want them to be active throughout the community. And what we feel like these positions especially will do is it gives us visibility, but it allows us to address specific concerns and meet the needs that are along that corridor. So we want you to know that we've heard you. We are focused on addressing these issues. We want to make this area thrive, and we are committed to the public safety concerns and making this community better as a whole. So thank you very much for your support.
You put up with us all saying what we wanted to say, so we'll make some folks available for questions if you have any really quickly. We'll start here. Yeah.
I just want to clarify, you said that since art construction had ended, you had 240 new business licenses
That's
for
right.
this area?
Yep.
Can you give me some context for like how much higher or lower that is than like it typically would be, or maybe what it was like before construction?
Sure. If you go online to the website at rediscovercentral.com that's on the sheet, we actually posted all of the new business licenses online so people can look at them, can find those new businesses, find their favorite new restaurant. But what we really saw was for that year or so during ART construction, the rate of new business opening really sunk in terms of the city. But what we saw now is that the rate seems to be back over the last year or so. It's back to the consistent numbers we had before construction, which tells us that the empty spaces are filling up. New local businesses, when they're choosing where they want to go, are looking at cool places like Central because they believe that all this investment that taxpayers put into the street is the right place for their business to thrive long term.
And then
Right.
I think you said you mentioned the merchant organizations will work with professional marketing companies. Do you know which ones, or is that at like their discretion?
That's going to be at their discretion. So we're going to propose in this that the marketing grants must be competitive. The requirements will be it has to be a nonprofit business association, so it can't promote one particular business. It has to promote a neighborhood or the entire central corridor. And they'll have to work with a professional marketer to do that. We want to be sure that the taxpayers get their bang for the buck, and they'll have to present those proposals to the city council for approval. So we'll wait and see what those look like. Yep.
$1 million, how many officers does that look like? What is like the real impact going to be seen from these businesses?
Sure. So $1 million is roughly 10 new police officers at a mid-grade, which is where you would expect a bicycle officer getting a specialized assignment. To make those dollars go a little farther, all of the counselors you see here have agreed to step up and buy the bicycles for the officers when they get trained out of our public safety set-aside fund so that we can keep those dollars invested in the people and the training. So that'll be 10 more. Outside of the public safety zone today, as some of the counselors mentioned, we already have 4 Central Avenue bicycle officers on Coors, some in Nob Hill, and then downtown, of course, the public safety zone. This will allow us essentially to triple the number of flexible bike officers for Central this summer. And this will allow them to be available for the APD officer bid in July when the new fiscal year comes available. Yeah, hey, Jessica.
So you will have to amend the mayor's budget of the summer, right?
That's right.
Have you identified where you would get the $1 million from? I mean, I know it's the internet sales tax, but that was built into the budget already.
Yeah, there were some flexible recurring dollars, and we'll go through that when we get into budget hearings. We'll talk a little about that, I think, tonight, but also through the process. There's some flexible recurring dollars that can be delayed. And APD, we also investing millions of, let me let this mic go. Since he did that on purpose. So the mayor had already proposed adding 53 new officer positions next year with recurring dollars. So a combination of earmarking some of those and identifying additional recurring dollars we can plus up APD's budget. We're allowing the police department to fast track the assignment of those officers this July instead of waiting till the end of next year. But we'll go through the details in hearing, and we can pull off on the side if you want. I'll show you. 900-page budget. It's a little piece from here and there.
Also, you mentioned the 240 business licenses. Has the city studied how many businesses closed during construction along your route?
Let me let that come up. I won't monopolize all this, but so her question was, have we studied how many have gone out of business? And so what we see is there are 240 new business licenses. You can look at them online. Unfortunately, the city doesn't know until someone doesn't renew their business license, and that time hasn't come by. We can see a few that we recognize that have missed the mark and haven't continued. We know that's a part of the normal business cycle, but on whole, we are more than 200 new businesses that we recognize and see filling up Central Avenue, from sole proprietors to big chains to expansions like Boxing Bear here and Modern General and Feel Good. So on whole, we're net positive right now. Questions? All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all, and you're welcome to talk to anybody you want.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Nice job.